moving forward, again, I've been knocking on wood a lot and wearing it out, but you have to be thankful that we're in the video game industry, Brandon. We've seen, for example, here in this Gaming Economy magazine that Microsoft has seen a 775% uptake in Teams calling, which means that people grouping together for video games, primarily, they attribute it to the video game industry because people are at home. So esports and gaming has become huge. And again, thankfully, we're in that, and we've had some good results there, and we'll continue to be in that. Steam has had 20 million concurrent users, setting a new record. Steam is a platform of communication for gamers. Short term, it's been an obvious spike in video game streaming. Twitch has seen 10% year-over-year increases, and video gaming is up 75% in the US. All streaming is up 12% in the pandemic. So I guess the moral to this story, and you can talk about video games a little bit, is find the good industry that's growing, right?
Well, to recruiters that might be watching or other folks, always kind of, diversify. It's for me is a lot of folks, when we went into going after, kind of a gaming client and in the gaming industry, I remember people saying, you don't have the gaming experience. That's such a coveted industry. And it is, but guess what? That just kind of shows the ability to, when you are truly partners with people, you're able to learn what the industry is, what the terminology is. I've learned more just from, but having, game, I've considered myself kind of a semi-gamer back in the day. But, what we're finding now is being able to partner with those firms to see what works from a technology standpoint. How do you keep your contingent workers? How do you flex up and down quickly, right? In that, not only just here in the US, but across the globe. What systems work? What systems can work together, is key. And that's going to continue. Again, I'd say entertainment, streaming, the gaming, all of those industries have that opportunity, right, to continue to move forward. And my wish is for those companies, again, anything that we've learned, me personally, I've learned, take nothing for granted, with that, from a simple haircut to everything. So I think when things do start to normalize, is for those companies specifically now take a look and say, okay, shake it off. What can we do? Because whether they can, will they sustain that increase? Probably, I don't know. But at the same time is really the perfect time to take a look at processes. Really, again, the opportunity to take a look at, not just saying, okay, let's just take a sigh of relief and we can look at that in 2 or 3 years. No, you can't. You got to start looking at it now. You got to start looking at processes now. You start looking at what works. Not only from a governance and compliance standpoint, but what works in order to get the people that you need at the most critical time. How do you flex up and down? So I can't stress that enough. If you're in one of these industries, the gaming industry, the streaming industry, reach out to the right resources. And again, if it's not us, we'll recommend some folks that are, but I still love to have the conversation because I'm all about partnerships anyway, and just understanding, how we can help. So it's, reach out, because I love to brainstorm with people, and I literally set aside time each week to brainstorm with companies that, heard of me for the first time, heard of, hey, that's your name. Can I just run an idea by you? Those are some of the best calls I have, because then I get inspired and hopefully they walk away with something, that helps them personally and in their organization.
Totally agree. And I appreciate all that. Just to reiterate what you're saying, you didn't know a lot about gaming, Brandon, but you put one foot in front of the other and you took steps forward and you learned it. But I think the key was that, having principles and values and under promising and over delivering, that's what's important. And that's what's rare. So for our friends in the staffing industry, speaking for Brandon's behalf, a lot of you are going through tough times, just got let go. We feel for you. I think Brandon and I have both been there at some point. We feel bad. We'll help however we can. but put one foot in front of the other. Find a tidal wave industry: gaming, artificial intelligence, streaming, future transportation, and go after it. Because the economy's certainly slowing, but the world is not going to go anything but push forward. So there's going to be opportunities, and thanks for bringing that up, Brandon. I appreciate it. Staffing industry analysts, we were excited about going to their big event later in the year, CWS, and we will see where that happens. We were being a presenter and a sponsor there, but they're well respected. For those of you that aren't in the staffing industry and are watching this, the SIA is well respected, does a fantastic job with keeping tabs on the industry, and they have some scary stats. The quote on the left here is that some staffing companies are getting their assignments ended early. Their people are having their assignments ended early because of lack of work or planned drop in the workload. And then companies are extremely hesitant to bring new people on. And of course, that seems common sense. But the huge stat for the staffing industry is in the bottom right. The 27 firms that report to staffing industry analysts regularly are seeing between an 8 and 40% drop in revenue. 40%? That's crazy. You know, that you're, as a business owner, and by the way, it's over 10,000 small staffing companies in the US, and there's a couple dozen big staffing companies that are over $100 million or more. The staffing industry is going to be in for a big change here, Brandon. I mean, 9/11 hurt us a lot. 2008 hurt us a lot, but I think this is different. What do you think?
It definitely is. Again, I think every business has to relook at the way that they're doing things, right? And I think, you know, just, no pun intended, but this is a massive disruption to the staffing industry. Those that, you know, might be in an industry that's being, you know, hospitality, you know, that might be massive. I mean, they're massively impacted. I had 4 calls just last week from friends of mine, and it's heartbreaking. You know, I've seen it, and really, it's taking a look at what can you do, where can you offer support. You know, again, the flip side, looking back at what's to come. You know, they're talking about a kind of a phase 4 potential stimulus on infrastructure. You know, you talked about future transportation and those types of things. Those are really kind of some key areas to start pivoting, because that's going to have a ripple down effect in ways that we can't imagine of new jobs, current jobs. I guess my underlying theme is when things get returned and we arise from this, and we will, is do not get complacent. You know, do not get complacent with, hey, we weathered through it, we're good, now let's just get business back. No, it can't be just let's get business back. It's how do we get business back that really impact organizations, that really provide value, that can really help drive an organization and help them. That's key, and that's just the underlying energy theme that feels like that we're almost being taught is complacency is not okay.
Love that. Well said. Thank you for that. Agreed. Lots to learn there as well. So